Hi everyone, my name is Millie and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about some of my 5-star predictions. I think I'm usually pretty good at knowing which books are going to be 5 stars for me. If it's an author that I love, I generally do tend to give them 5 stars, such as Emily Henry or Samantha Shannon. If it's a really hyped up book that I've had my eye on for a while, for example, Babel was a 5-star read for me and I had been eyeing that one up for so long. I'd been hyping that up in my head. So I think that I'm pretty good at knowing which books are going to be 5 stars. However, I didn't end up having any 5-star reads in February. So I clearly was not picking out books that I was going to love. And then in March, I've already had 2 5-star reads and they were back to back. One of them I knew as soon as I received it was going to be 5 stars. The other one I was not expecting to be 5 stars at all. So I thought that I would make this video and it would be a good reference to look back for whenever I get around to reading these books. I've got 7 books here which I predict will be a 5-star read for me. So let's get into them. The first book that I've got is Foxglove by Adalyn Grace. Foxglove is the sequel to Belladonna, which came out in 2022 and I absolutely loved. It was an instant 5-star read for me and I was really excited to pick up Foxglove as soon as it came out. However, I haven't gotten around to doing that, even though it has been out since last autumn. So why did I do that? I don't know. This is a gothic infused YA fantasy series. I believe it's going to be a trilogy. The final book is coming out later this year and that is called Wisteria. Now, Belladonna follows Signa, who is 19 years old and was orphaned as a baby. Throughout her whole life she's been passed around from guardian to guardian and each of her guardians has actually met an untimely death. So her last resort is to go to her distant family, the Hawthorns. The Hawthorns are dealing with their own tragedy because the mother of the family sadly passed away. The sister is dying of a mysterious illness, the father is partying his life away, and the son is trying to gain control of the family's reputation. So they don't really want Signa there, who seems to bring bad luck to all who look after her. Now, Signa has actually always had a connection with Death, who is in fact a character in this book, and she starts to see the ghost of the mother of the Hawthorns, who claims that she was actually murdered. And so she now must try and figure out what happened to her in order to be able to put her spirit to rest. And there's a bit of a romance going on between Signa and Death, which I absolutely loved. I'm really excited to get to the sequel of Belladonna, Foxglove, and what I might actually do is, seeing as Wisteria is coming out later this year, is that I might wait until that comes out so that I've got all 3 books to read. I will do a reread of Belladonna because I loved it so much, and then binge Foxglove and Wisteria straight away. I think that that is an excellent plan and it will be a really great spooky season reading session that I can get done, because these books are absolutely perfect for October and for spooky season. They're so creepy, mysterious, and have amazing atmospheric writing. I also really want to read Adalyn Grace's other series, which is All the Stars and Teeth, because of how much I loved Belladonna, but that's for another time. The next book that I think will be 5 stars is a recent pickup for me, and that is Where Sleeping Girls Lie by Farida Abike Ayomide. I loved Ace of Spades by this author. That was a dark academia YA thriller which focused a lot on, I believe it was on eugenics, if I'm thinking of the right book, and it was really fast paced. I think I actually read that book in one sitting during COVID. I literally sat down for 5 hours and just read through the entire thing. And I do think the same will happen with this one. This is another dark academia thriller and it sounds really amazing. I'm really glad to have gotten the Waterstones exclusive edition as well. So in this book we follow Sade, who is new to this boarding school. It's actually her first day there, and on her first night her new roommate goes missing and people think that she actually had something to do with it. She ends up being talked about by everyone at the school and she's actually invited into the midst of the most popular clique at school, which is the Unholy Trinity, and they are the 3 most popular girls at school. And then a student is found dead. So Sade is going to have to uncover the secrets of this boarding school and also try and protect her own life, I'm guessing. This author has a really fantastic writing style. It's so fast-paced, it's so compulsive to read, and I'm just so excited to pick this up. It's quite a big book. It's over 560 pages, so it's not going to be possibly too quick of a read, but another one perfect for spooky season as well. Clearly I'm in a spooky season mood, even though it's March. We then have a book that has been highly recommended to me by two people, and that is Clytemnestra by Costanza Casati. This has been highly recommended to me by both my friend Violet and my friend Naya. They both really enjoyed this, and I'm really excited to pick this up as well. So this is a mythological, I don't know if it's a historical fantasy or just historical fiction. I mean, first of all, it's so shiny. I was very kindly sent this by Penguin, so thank you very much to them. And I will read you the synopsis of this because I don't even know anything really about this. She is born to a king, but marries a tyrant. She watches helplessly as he sacrifices her child to the gods. She bides her time, she plots her revenge, she knows how to play this game. If power will not be given to her, she will take it for herself. She is Clytemnestra. I just think this sounds so fantastic. I've seen a lot of people really recommending it, and since the author has announced her next book as well, Babylonia, that's made me even more excited to pick this up so that I can become a Costanza Casati stan as her books are coming out. So thank you very much to Violet and Tanea for this recommendation. Then have a book which I don't think I know anybody who hasn't rated this 5 stars, so it's kind of a cop-out, but also because I really love this author's first trilogy, which was Caraval, and that is Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. This is the second trilogy set in the world of Caraval. I know a lot of people read this trilogy first, I think because of how popular it's gotten, but I read Caraval first and absolutely loved all 3 books in that series. I don't know if I rated them all 5 stars, but I loved the series as a whole, and Caraval was definitely a 5-star read for me. And I just think that Once Upon a Broken Heart is also definitely going to be 5 stars, based off of how much everybody loves it, based off of how much I love this world, and Stephanie Garber's writing is just so incredibly whimsical and atmospheric. You just want to move into this world. Honestly, it reads like a fairy tale. It's really magical. In Once Upon a Broken Heart, we're following Evangeline Fox, who has always believed in true love, till she learns that the love of her life is about to marry another and her heart is broken. In order to stop the wedding and to heal her heart, Evangeline makes a deal with the Prince of Hearts. In exchange for his help, he asks for 3 kisses, which are to be given at the time and place of his choosing. But after the first kiss, Evangeline learns that making a deal with the Prince of Hearts is much more dangerous than she ever expected it to be. I honestly can't wait for this book. I can't wait to read this series. It's another series that I'm absolutely going to just binge all 3 because I do own all 3 now. And it's also on my 24 books to read in 2024 list, so one I really need to pick up soon. We then have another recent acquisition to my library, which is the absolutely beautiful Fairy Loot edition of Fragile Enchantment by Alison Saft. I mean, have you ever seen a more beautiful edition? I don't think I have. One of my all-time favourites, and I actually shelve it on my shelf with these edges facing out because I just think they are so beautiful. I know that this is a fantasy of manners and it is Regency inspired. I read Alison Saft's other book. I don't think it was her first book, but maybe her second book, A Far Wilder Magic. I read that and I really loved it. It was so much fun. Alison Saft had really wonderful writing as well. I think that's the thing with me, is you can tell from all of these predictions, is that I love really beautiful writing. If you have beautiful writing, you're probably going to get 5 stars from me. That's just how it is. So this is a Regency inspired fantasy of manners. We follow Neve, who is a renowned dressmaker, and the reason that she's renowned is because she can actually stitch emotions and memories into the fabric, which sounds incredible to start off with. She is tasked with making a dress for a royal wedding, and she's actually cursed. So the magic that allows her to stitch emotions and memories into fabric is the same magic that's going to eventually kill her. So when she travels to the palace, she's cursed, she's alone, and she ends up making a friendship with the prince, who is cold and prickly, and it might start to blossom into something more. But then, in a very Bridgerton-esque twist, a gossip column is released and exposes their chemistry, and it threatens scandal. And I just think that this sounds so wonderful. I think it sounds like a lot of fun. And again, this edition, it can't be a bad book if it's in this gorgeous fun edition. Okay, so we are down to the last 2 books I predict will be 5 stars, and here is the second to last one. So this is actually a prequel to a book which I rated 5 stars, I think. I believe I rated it 5 stars. And that is the prequel to Legends and Lattes, Bookshops and Bone Dust by Travis Baldree. I love Travis Baldree. Legends and Lattes is just the coziest, warmest fantasy that you could hope for. It is so, so cute. In Legends and Lattes, we're following Viv, who is a mercenary retiring after 20 years, and she opens up a coffee shop. And you just have this wonderful cast of characters who you absolutely adore. It's just so wholesome. You just know that you're going to have a lovely time. Nothing bad's going to happen to these characters. You're just having a nice time watching them live their lives, and it is adorable. So I'm really excited to read the prequel to this, which is actually following Viv at the start of her mercenary career. So it's set 20 years before Legends and Lattes. And when Viv is wounded, she is sent off to a sleepy beach town in order to recuperate. And during her recuperation, she ends up spending a lot of time at a secondhand bookstore, which isn't at all what she expected, but might just be what she needed. It just sounds so cute. I'm so excited to get back into this world with these characters, into this writing, and just feel so like being wrapped up in a warm hug. The final book that I predict will be 5 stars is one that I'm really nervous to read, because if I end up loving this, there's a lot of books I've got to buy. I've got to spend a lot of money. That's the only reason I'm nervous to read it, because I'm pretty much guaranteed that I will love this, because he is iconic. And it is Brandon Sanderson, The Final Empire. This is the first book in the Mistborn series, which is the start of the Cosmere, which is an epic fantasy series that encompasses, I don't even know how many books, into one giant arc. This is the first book of the first Mistborn trilogy. We've got the first Mistborn trilogy, we've got Mistborn Era 2, we've got the Stormlight Archive, there's Elantris, Warbreaker, and a lot of other books. There's a lot of books in this series. I mean, when you look up how many books Brandon Sanderson has written and how many he's writing and are going to be written, this man never stops. He's insane. There's also a lot of secret projects set in the Cosmere as well, and I'm going to end up spending a lot of money if I love this. So that's the only thing that makes me nervous. That's the only thing that is putting me off reading it, because I know I will love this. This is the epitome of high fantasy, of epic fantasy. It's a must read if you're a fantasy reader, so it's kind of atrocious I haven't gotten around to reading it yet. And I'll read you the synopsis of The Final Empire. The mists rule the night, the Lord Ruler owns the world. For 1,000 years the ash fell. For 1,000 years the Scar slaved in misery and lived in fear. For 1,000 years the Lord Ruler reigned with absolute power and ultimate terror, divinely invincible. Every attempted revolt has failed miserably. Yet somehow, hope survives. A new kind of uprising is being planned, one that depends on the cunning of a brilliant criminal mastermind and the courage of an unlikely heroine, a Scar street urchin who must learn to master allomancy, the power of a Mistborn. What if the prophesied hero had failed to defeat the Dark Lord? The answer will be found in the Mistborn trilogy, a saga of surprises that begins here. This is going to be my year of Brandon Sanderson. I'm promising you that. This is going to be my year, and I just need to get started. So I do also have his sci-fi series, Skyward. I've got the first 3 books of that, although I know that there is also a book of short stories set in that world, and a new novel called Defiant has also come out that's set in that world as well. And I haven't got around to reading those either, even though I've owned those for over a year. But anyway, story of my life. I do think that I will get a lot of 5-star reads out of Brandon Sanderson. So I just need to get around to it. Someone yell at me. Okay, so those were the books I predict to be 5 stars. I mean, there is a lot more. Let's be honest. I have a lot of books in this room. There's going to be a lot that I think are 5 stars, but these are the ones that at the minute I'm feeling the vibes of 5 stars. These are the ones that I'm like, yeah, I really need to get around to reading these because they're going to be so good and I'm going to love them. So if we do a little recap, I think most of these are fantasy. We've only got 2 books that I guess could be classed as other genres. So we've got a YA thriller and a more mythological book. Let's see if I can hold this up. Okay, we have got a lovely little stack here. I'm really pleased with these predictions. I do think that I'm right with these as well, if I do say so myself. And if you've read any of these, please let me know what you thought of these in the comments. Please let me know if you think that I'm also going to rate these 5 stars or if I'm way off and it's going to be like a 2-star read for me. I don't think that that's going to be the case with any of these, but you never know. You never know. Sometimes your expectations are misplaced. So those were my 7 5-star predictions. I hope that you enjoyed this video. As I say, let me know what you think of these books if you've read them. Let me know as well if Mistborn is the right place to start with Brandon Sanderson. I think it is. I've tried to do my research, but there's a lot of conflicting guides out there. So if The Final Empire is the right way to go, then let me know. Let me know I'm doing the right thing. But thank you very much for watching. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, and I will see you in another video soon. Bye!